Home prices are still going up across the Huntsville area, but here's what most people are missing. Homes are taking longer to sell in certain areas. In Madison alone, days on market has nearly jumped 36%, and in Meridianville, it's up over 40%. This means we're not in a crashing market, but we are in a shifting market. And right now, the difference between selling quickly for top dollar or sitting on the market comes down to one thing, and that's strategy. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what's happening across Madison County, which includes Huntsville, Madison, Harvest, Meridianville, and Owens Crossroads, so that you can understand what it means for you if you're thinking about selling. And if you're even considering selling this year, this is where a lot of homeowners make a mistake. They assume the market is the same as it was the past few years, and quite frankly, it's not. Buyers have more options, they're more selective, and how you launch and price your home matters more now than it ever has. So if you want a custom strategy based on your home, your neighborhood, and what's actually happening in today's market, click the link in the description and schedule a seller strategy session with me. And I'll walk you through exactly what I would do to help you sell quickly and maximize your price in this shifting market. All right, so we'll jump right in. We're going to go over the real estate market here in the Huntsville area for March of 2026. I'm going to cover first the overall numbers for Madison County, and then I'm going to go over the Huntsville, Madison, Harvest, Meridianville, and Owens Crossroads numbers. And if you want any of the other markets such as New Market, Athens, Decatur, feel free to reach out and let me know. We can go over those numbers on the phone or on a Zoom call. So I'm going to go over the numbers for March 2026 and then compare them to March of 2025 so we can see the differences in the numbers of properties sold, average sales price, and days on market. So we'll start out with Madison County. Let me move me up a little bit. All right, so there are currently 2,246 active listings, 1,099 pending, and in the month of March 2026, there were 590 sold, which is up from last year at 567, so it's a 4% increase. So this year compared to last year in March, there were more houses sold. We're seeing that the market is still strong here in the Huntsville area. There's a lot of people moving here based on jobs and especially defense and airspace type positions. So the market is still strong here. Average sales price is up from $367 to $375 for last month. Average days on market is only 4 days more. But based on these numbers, you can see that the market is still strong. There's still a lot of active listings. People still buying houses here in Huntsville. All right, so we're going to go on to the Huntsville numbers. You see there's 590 here in Madison County. 240 of those were in the Huntsville city proper. So we'll go across the line. 947 active listings, 437 pending, 240 sold. That's down a little bit from last year. As we move on, you can see where some of these numbers might be going. People might not be looking at Huntsville proper as a first place to move in this area. So as you see, it's a 4% dip, but there was also almost a 4% increase in sales price between last year and this year. Moving on to Madison, here we see $410,000 is the average sales price. That's up from $397. So almost it's over a $13,000 raise in average sales price. For active listings, 340, 167 pending. There were 83 houses sold in Madison last month, down from 89 the year prior. Just a slight dip, not much, but like I just mentioned, people may be looking on the outskirts of Huntsville and Madison more this year than they were last year. Average days on market, this is a big change. Last year 53 days on market, now 72. It's just people are a little bit more apprehensive on pulling the trigger when it comes to buying right now compared to last year. Interest rates are very volatile. Things going on. Gas prices are higher. It's just a kind of a weird time when it comes to people buying. So I think that's probably the reason for the increase. People are just taking a little bit more time. And, with there still being 340 active listings and stuff, there's options for buyers. So they're taking a little bit more time than they were last year. There's not the urgency that there was in years prior. So that's probably the reason for that increase in average days on market. Harvest. So there's also a dip here in the houses sold for the month of March. From 43 to 32. Average sales price is only up $5,000, but days on market for the month of March, it went from 79 to 43. That's a 46% dip. It looks like the slight urgency is here in harvest area. As you can see, the average sales price is not as high, but you may get more house, more land, and the commute around the area is probably not near as bad as it is in the Huntsville area. You still if you work on Redstone, you have to drive through the Huntsville traffic to get there, but just in and around, local Dollar Generals, local Kroger and Publix, maybe not that bad of a commute to get to those places. But the drop from 79 to 43 is very I think important when it comes to showing where in the Huntsville area people are actually looking and buying. So there's 181 active listings in Harvest, 92 pending right now. Still strong area. There's just not as many properties in the Harvest area as everywhere else. But it's still strong market. Meridianville, here's where we have a pretty significant jump in sales price and homes sold. This might be due to new construction. There's a lot of new construction in this area, and newer homes are most of the time going to go for higher sales price than resale, and just the significant jump in houses sold in this area, that's likely what that's due to. There's 182 active listings, 74 pending. Average days on market is up from 58 to 83. Like I said before, people are just taking more time to purchase a property now than they were a year ago. But here the difference is that probably the difference in that is these are probably new construction. It takes a little bit longer to, for those to go under contract. But these are the strong numbers as well. Just north of Huntsville. A lot of people looking here, so very strong market. And the last one we're going to cover is Owens Crossroads. As you can see, this is the highest area. Includes parts of Hampton Cove and a lot of the sought-after places to live in here in Huntsville. 147 active listings, 95 pending. We're down a little bit from last year, 65 to 52. And the average sales price went up like $21,000. Average days on market is only up 5. So people are paying more to live in this area. And, because it's a sought after area, the days on market is not drastically different. So it's still not as many people are buying in the area as they were last year because of the increased sales price. But still, when people want to move there, it's about the same days on market. It takes about as long for that house to go under contract. So what does this mean for anybody that lives in the Huntsville area? Let me move myself again. All right, so for buyers, more active listings, longer market times. That gives you a little bit more negotiating leverage. You can take a little bit more time to make a decision than you were in prior years. Before, you just had to go and hope that you made a good decision. So that's a good thing for buyers, is you have a little bit more time. You can make a little bit wiser decision based on certain factors like commute times and interest rates and things like that. You can at least make an intelligent decision on what you want to do, instead of going, oh my gosh, these houses are all flying off the market. Let me put an offer on this one. So that's good for buyers. All right, for sellers, prices are still going up. They're gaining equity, but you still need to price right and have a great presentation. Like I said, buyers will be more decisive, or it'll take longer, and really looking at each property and deciding which one is best for them. So it's best to have a great presentation, great curb appeal, making sure that the repairs that need to be done are done before it goes live. So for sellers, you're gonna make a little bit, based on appreciation, but you really need to be at the right price, and you need to be ready to go when you hit the market. Those are going to give you the best return on investment on your property, rather than just throwing it on there and hoping it gets whatever you want. But you got to have a strategy. For market, it's trending towards a balanced market. Sellers don't really have an advantage over buyers right now. Buyers really don't have an advantage over sellers. It's kind of everybody meeting in the middle right now, and that's good. So it's good when both sides win, and that's the way I try to make each transaction, is everybody feel like they're winning, so that there's no bad blood or anything between buyer and seller. But it's a little bit more healthy. You don't have buyers that are just throwing money at properties, and you don't have sellers just listing things way above what it's valued at, and having issues with appraisals and things like that. So right now, really good time in the market here in Huntsville. Market's still strong. You see there's still properties being sold every month. 500 plus is a pretty good number for this area. And Huntsville's just continuing to click along. So that's this month's March. We'll see what April does, and hope you enjoyed this video. And if you think about selling your house and you want to sell for top dollar and sell it quickly, then you want to avoid these 5 mistakes. Watch this video, and I cover the 5 mistakes that you want to avoid when selling your house in Huntsville in 2026. I'll see you over there. Click the video.